a note to the listeners, episode 43 contains some explicit language and mature content. Word nerd, wordsmith, wordy, wordless. Oxford Dictionary says a word is a single, distinct, meaningful element of speech or writing, used with others or sometimes alone. We say each one matters. No extra words is literature, minimalist style, and we're getting you right to the story.
Goodbye Blues, written and read by Frederick K. Foote, Jr. Supporting cast and production by Kay Sable. All rights reserved.
Got the news straight from the horse's ass. No fucking around at all. Dr. Pull no punches. Straight arrow motherfucker.
The cancer done got you, boy. Got you good from asshole to elbows. Not much we can do but wave to you as you go.
How about chemo? Radiation? Experimental?
How about 6 to 8 weeks to go? How about that?
Doc looks bored, like he got something else he needs to be doing, somewhere else he needs to be. Pain. Will there be a lot of pain?
Oh, yeah. You got that in spades. You know the shovels they're going to dig your grave with. But I'm Dr. Feelgood, brother. I can make you pain-free at a price.
30 twice?
You know the word and got the price.
We got nothing else to say to each other. I leave. He don't say goodbye. She don't say hello.
What you doing home this time of day? You been fired? You look fucked up.
Grab her by the ass, grab her by the tits, drag her to our bed.
Negro, have you lost your mind? You are fucked up.
Lost everything. Nothing left to lose. She come with me.
6 weeks? Nigger, please. Don't play me like that.
I stroke her stomach, kiss her chin, her eyes. I gotta go see the kid. Say hello. Say goodbye. The next day, 2,000 miles away. Hello, boy. You done got tall, rangy, old around the eyes. Dad, are you okay? You look tired. Not too tired to outfish you. Grab us a couple of poles. It's a school day. I got band and football and, well, I see. If you're scared, I can understand that. Last time, back with 2 poles and a flash. You was just lucky, old man. Last time was luck, not skill. I get him back in time for band and football. Dad, will you pick me up after school? Not this time. I've got an early flight. He looks at me. He knows. Tries not to cry. Hugs me. I hold him for a minute. Sends him on to band and football. He's looking good. You looking good. Thanks for letting me see him on short notice.
Did you see him at practice? He looks like you about the eyes.
Tell him I will keep in touch. Tell him that.
Anything else?
Yeah. Tell him about the time you and I got stranded on the roof after you kicked down the ladder. Tell him about that, too.
The whole story. You want me to tell him the whole story?
I kiss her on the forehead, look her in the eyes. He couldn't have a better mother. I told him that. Home again. What you packing for?
Us.
Where is us going?
Us is going to the ocean.
Why?
'Cause I want to see the ocean with you.
I don't like the ocean. I like the desert.
My week to choose.
Hey, woman, I should get to choose. Next week I may be too weak to choose.
Good. Then I will get to choose for you.
You're an evil, mean-ass black woman. How can you treat me like this?
Ain't no treat. You pay every step of the way.
Well, living with you sure ain't been no treat. That's for sure.
Can you drive?
Drive you crazy or up the wall, and I can drive the damn car, too.
Yeah, you have almost drove me over the edge. You done plenty of that. You drive. You keep your eyes on the road and your hands to yourself. You got it?
Got it. You ain't no fun anymore.
You want to take Highway 1?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Ouch.
Quit complaining, woman. We ain't in the car yet. Highway 1 is ocean and green and winding and slow. And I don't keep my hands to myself. I do enjoy the ocean with her.
Keel Day. Bada 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 flump like a drum roll muddled from mouth, and a baby born. Richard Rick Shore the Fourth, and wife blessed too, with first and only son Richard the Fifth, honoring the dead and dying Richards before him. The baby would go by Rich. Nurse black inked him, made little prints, marking occasion. Certified baby. Rick, good-humored, asked, "As long as we're here, can we pick up a death certificate as well?" Of course, a request as such goes ungranted, though knowing his son would die December the 4th, just as he himself would die December the 4th, 32 days after their 72nd years, respectively. Heredity. Shoremen, starting first Richard, went that way, unforeseen and saddening. Richard Jr. deemed coincidence. Richard the First a curse. Richard II popped out, now phenomenon taken levity as Keel Day, as in to keel over and die. No ailments, no accidents, no suicide, no surprise. Predictively keeled over and floomp, died. Rich waddled and grew and walked and ate so much as a teenager you couldn't believe it. Then Father Rick informed of Keel Day, 32 days past 22nd. Rick said, "Son, you've got 50 years," then drank. Exactly. Rich took the news as shores do, not badly. Genes, a strategic thicket untold, though an inkling, probably known, curses made to be broken. Richard died that eve, all-knowing, who knew? A broken tradition, namesake tarnished, and dying pithy retort to this day. Sure, but what the meaning? Yet Rick cried for more reasons than he'd ever know.
Hello there. Welcome to No Extra Words, the Flash Fiction Podcast. My name is Chris Baker-Dersch. I'm your producer and editor. We continue to have fun with National Poetry Month in this episode. National Poetry Month happens every April. If you're not a U.S. resident, I saw a lovely tweet the other day that just said, poetry knows no national boundaries, so you are welcome to come along on this journey and celebrate poetry with us. When I put out the call for poetry, my vision was that I was going to pick the 4 absolute best poems and fit them into whatever episode they fit best and have each episode have a poetry center. And then I received 89 poems. And I had to cut and cut and cut and cut and cut. And I got to a short list, and I was having trouble letting some of the shortlisted ones go. So I thought, maybe we can squeeze in 5, or maybe we can squeeze in 6. So a couple of the episodes have more than one poem, including the one today, which actually has 2. And so what this episode really is it's 2 poem story pairings. I mean, I had Goodbye Blues written down on my calendar for a long time, and then as soon as I saw Keel Day, I thought, these 2 mesh. And that is what you're hearing. It's 2 stories and poems that go together, with the overriding theme being that everyone on this episode has been sentenced to something. Everyone is fighting that sentence in a gracious way or a not so gracious way. Everybody's got one. So that's what you've got. 2 pairings, 2, I'll use the poetry word, couplets. 2 poem story couplets. That's the wrong way to use that word, but whatever. I know these episodes have been getting on the long side, so I'm going to leave it at that. I will only remind you, please go to noextrawords.wordpress.com and fill out the ballot, vote for your favorite story out of our archives, and send us some feedback for our 50th episode. One thing that didn't occur to me last week, if you want to write a response to a story that you've heard, do it. Any kind of feedback you've got, whether it's about flash fiction, whether it's about the show, whether it's about a story, we just want to jam-pack episode 50 with all of you. You can't do it unless you stop by and let us know what you're thinking. So do that. Enjoy the poem story pairing coming up. You guys have a great week. I will see you soon here on No Extra Words.
Perspective. When a cousin had a stroke, unusual in a person only in her 30s, after her long recovery, she would describe how her mind struggled to fill in the blanks, but the information was misinformed and the answers crooked. The tea kettle would shout, and someone's knee would open its mouth and ask what was wrong, and it did not seem strange until she realized that this was her language that no one else could respond to or translate. Her job alone to determine how to console the despair of the roaring vacuum cleaner while trying to answer the ringing elbow.
Booked by Zach Locke. The tome is heavy, ripe with dust and humidity. It is crinkly to her touch. A few of its translucently thin pages protrude from the rest, where they have given up in their strain against the metal three-ring binding holding the massive treatise together. She knows this book. She knows the pages she is looking for, stained darker in the corners from fingerprints. Her fingerprints, fingerprints of the other attorneys and clerks who had rifled through it for years? Decades? The book is splayed out on the table like a sleeping infant, arms up and out in supplication, its innocent words waiting to be given meaning by the adult. She is an adult, clearly, bent over it. She knows the book, and knows what she will find when she turns to the section 2/3 of the way to the back once glazed cardboard cover, and when she finds it she does not bother to more than scan the text. As much as she tries to dissuade herself, this is not the time to believe in gradations. You get all or nothing. You live or you die. What matters is not in the book. It is what is on the other side of the door. At her Ivy League college and first-tier Midwestern law school, a good effort was rewarded with an A-, a hardy but misguided attempt with a B+. But she knows that on the other side of the door you either fail or succeed. And she has, by all external accounts, succeeded. She opens the door and walks quickly through it, pulled slightly leftward under the weight of her leather document case. The sweaty audience perch on rows of chairs on either side of the aisle and exhale from their mouths. At the front of the room she feels their warm breath on the back of her neck and under her updoed hair and through the blended material of her suit. The judge has already taken her position. The defendant and his lawyer are already seated. She's late. "Counselor, may I remind you that when I call a 10-minute recess, I mean a 10-minute recess?" "I'm sorry, Your Honor." "Never mind. This seems to be the last of it." The judge stares straight down at her hidden notes, slick gray hair pulled tightly back as if she had donned a British magistrate's wig and wet it. "Let me read again the jury's findings," she starts. The counselor mouths along. First-degree murder, rape, solicitation of a minor. Clinical terms that obscure the atrocities they represent. Clinical terms with their progressions of prescribed punishments so unmistakably and brazenly set forth in that book. But only one she understands that will be acceptable to the jury, the community, her supervisor, the victim's family, the one that demands a repercussion equal to the action. She knows the book, has read it many times, but could not resist the urge to consult it again, on the dubious chance there would be another choice. There is not another choice. "And what does the prosecution recommend?" asks the judge. The counselor hesitates. "Can I do this?" she thinks. The judge plucks her reading glasses from her forehead with tweezer-like precision and bores into the counselor with her tiny front-set eyes. It is there, in the book, at the top of the list. It is her legal duty as a servant of the state, this adopted state of her top-tier law school. But can I take from this man the ultimate right? The same right which he took from that sweet, innocent child not much older than my own, she thinks. What if it had in fact been her own? Or what if instead this demon at the defendant's table had been her estranged grown son? Surely the parents of each doomed party are in attendance. She has seen the couples alternately crying and consoling over these past days. Their stares tug her back and thrust her forward like opposing magnets, stares that plead for mercy and vengeance. And what of mercy? Mercy to end the life of the tormentor of one, or mercy to save the one-time joy of another, the past son and brother and husband, the current killer and rapist of a child? "The prosecution recommends the death penalty, Your Honor." It just comes out. When couched in those professionalisms, it is not difficult. The prosecution recommends, not me. A mere recommendation. But she knows the certain result, and immediately after her last word, honor, the judge raises her gavel and with shocking speed and devastating insouciance slams it to the pulpit. So ordered. Thanks for listening to the No Extra Words podcast. For more information on today's stories and contributors, or to learn how to submit your own work, please visit us at noextrawords.wordpress.com. The best support you can give the show is to recommend us to your family and friends. See you next time.